FBI acknowledges we never acted on a tip about Parkland High School.
But here's the deal. Sam, you just said because of the perceived notion that they expect, urban cities to be exploding in violence.
Exactly.
Right? And there's a prejudice to that.
That's my point.
Because of this expectation, we want to make sure that the urban districts or urban schools or urban cities are almost like
On lockdown.
not only lockdown, but are almost like when you walk into a military barrack, a military garrison. You have, stop points, checkpoints here. I mean, they're so militarily equipped, but in these well-to-do communities, they don't have to because they're not expecting this.
Exactly.
But yet the shootings have shown. Like in Sandy Hook, the median income in Sandy Hook is in the thousands. Like these are
Six figures.
yeah, these are upper middle class white men and women.
But that does not mean that these suburban communities are all immune to school violence. I mean, we saw that in Columbine.
That's what it
And
occurred.
we are seeing it. Yes, that's where these mass shootings are occurring. So they need to wake up and smell the roses. As I understand it, they had one armed security guard, get this, who also doubled as the football coach.
Right,
I mean,
right.
come on.
Now, in a DPS,
People-
God forbid, in a DPS school, there are all sorts of security in DPS.
Yes, they
because
have their
there's an
own
expectation.
security force.
Yeah, there's that expectation.
Look, we had a teacher coach at King School killed a young man in the parking lot. That was what, a year or two ago? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's take a call from Linda. Linda has a question or comment for Tracy Martin or Sam Rillo.
Hello. I have called once before, but I'm really interested in what you're talking about because as a former educator in Michigan, over 30 years experience, I find that there is this disconnect with suburban schools thinking that this can't happen to them. And when we look at it, and I do agree with you, these school shootouts are happening in suburban school districts.
Right.
And they're in denial. The other thing is that in my school, a suburban district, we did the lockdown drills, but they were going to be ineffective. You practice them in school, the kids hear about them, but there was really no escape plan. Of course, they do talk about, okay, this is what we would do if the shooter is in the building. We're going to lock the doors, cut the lights out, the kids are going to line up along the walls. However, because a lot of times these students that are doing these things are previous students, they know the routine, they know the plan. Just like this kid, he knew that they were going to cut the lights off, they were going to close the door and lock the door, but he shot right through those doors, and the kids are lined up along the walls.
Well, and he pulled a fire alarm to drag them out of the classroom. He pulled a fire alarm.
Exactly. Now, the only other thing I'd like to say is that I just got back from Florida. I was in Volusia County. My nephew is ninth grade. In his school, it was totally impossible for you to enter that building after school started. They had, like in a lot of gated communities, they had once school started, all the doors were locked. And
You have to report to the main office if you want to get to the classrooms, right?
Well, you couldn't even get there. You had to stop, and there was one gate open where a little house with a guard sat. You had to check in with him, and then he called the office and let the office know that this parent is coming down. So they knew that you could not just enter that building at any time.
All right. There's breaking news here. Parents worried. What network is that? Channel 7 is saying parents are worried Southfield School isn't doing enough to stop student violence.
That's a different type of violence than what we're talking about here. I think there we're talking about like student-on-student violence, fighting or bullying type thing.
Yeah,
or,
mass shootings.
Yeah, we're not talking mass shootings there, but it is a form of violence, and you don't know what could happen next because it's often the children that are feeling bullied that say they're going to strike back.
So in the way, go ahead.
That was the case with this Nicholas Cruz because he was expelled from this particular school in Parkland, Florida. As I understood it, he broke up with his ex-girlfriend. She got a new boyfriend. and he had a
felt-
beef with the new
he
boyfriend.
felt like an outcast.
Right, and because he, beat up, they got into a fight with the new boyfriend. He was cast out of the school and put into an alternate school. And he.
But is it true that he was trained by some groups connected to white
No,
supremacy?
I understand today in the media that
Yeah.
that's a hoax.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know.
Well, no,
You know,
they're
trying
backing
to check
away.
it out.
The organization is backing away now because they may be feeling that they're taking
Right,
a negative hit on it.
Oh, they
There were
were
pretty,
sued, too.
there were pretty substantiated statements
By CNN.
and evidence that the guy had participated in something.
And
like that.
militias and things.
No, they
Well, yeah,
expressed
there was-
extreme views and so forth.
Well, no, but he was also accused of participating in militia training drills. This Nicholas.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right. So but I understand in the media that this
So-
has been characterized as a
so-
hoax. I don't know.
Well, let me ask the question then. I mean, because this we think about the Dylan Roof, we think about other incidents that have happened here. Are we at a breaking point where is this more so about mental health, which when the culprit is white, we run to mental health as the principal reason?
But you can't.
Not when. But hold on.
disregard
Let me finish. Let me finish though. Is it a question of mental health when the culprit is white? We run quickly to use mental health as the reason and humanize the culprit, go back into their background and talk about how they dropped from college. We saw what happened in Aurora, Colorado. When the madman walked into that movie theater, we were told he was going to be a scientist. He had black culprits don't get the benefit of the doubt. Not that I'm here defending those heinous crimes, but is it a question of mental health, or are we at a point where we're witnessing young white males getting radicalized by extremist views?
I believe that young white folks are operating in an atmosphere of hate from the top down at the White House even. You look at how this presidency was achieved, and there was an atmosphere of hate where the candidate himself had advocated violence when he spoke. And what I'm saying is when you have an atmosphere of hate and dehumanization of those who aren't white, or even of people who don't agree with your views, it makes killing very easy. This whole
Well, look at
dehumanization.
what happened at Wayne State University a couple of 2 days ago or so.
Oh,
the
yes.
students had a Trump
The knife.
t-shirt on and took the knife out.
He was
saying
wearing
he
a
wanted
Trump
to kill
Pets
all the
t-shirt.
immigrants and all this stuff, and
Right.
he was expelled.
And he
He was
also,
suspended, right?
but understand this, he had on a uniform, a Trump pimp uniform. That's what it really was. And it was consistent with that ideology as far as that individual is concerned for him to brandish a knife in a threatening manner.
And we can only hope he doesn't come back and cause any
Right.
trouble.
Well, I call this new breed the white supremacy soldiers who are answering the dog whistle, as Sam described, from the top down. That's the commander-in-chief of this country, Donald Trump, who, like Sam said, in rallies, I've seen him, in person, saying to people, throw him out of here, and advocating violence and things like that. And he does speak in code. And this is a generation that's answering the call to violence, and it's very troubling. It's very troubling because I think the president is acting very irresponsibly, simply in an effort to command and control this country and get reelected again. It's at great expense, and it's something that's very troubling.
So what do we have to do, Sam?
Well, one of the things we have to do starts in each individual household. Parents have to begin to parent again. It sounds very simplistic, but parents need to take control of their households. They need to know what's in their children's room, what's in the dresser drawer, what are the children looking at on the internet or TV.
But hold it right there. This Nicholas Cruz, he had ammunition. They found out he had magazines
He
and all
had,
sorts.
magazines
Did
in
he have grenades as well? Did he have grenades
I
as
heard
well?
something about flash grenades.
Look, Cleveland and Harris and Columbine were building bombs in their houses, and no one knows.
But Nick Cruz had no parents. His father died 10 years ago, and his
Well, I'm
mother
not going for the
died
orphan
in November. But there are some kids that have parents that are living on Earth, but they're essentially not parenting. So
Well,
I do
that's
agree
my
with
point.
you. Right.
And Nick Hood's background, no parents, and this and that, father died, this and that would be set up. Many black kids that get arrested every day here by the police
Yeah.
for illegal behavior
Well, I see it
or
in
robbing
court.
people.
I mean, I practice juvenile justice,
that's-
and I see
right.
it at juvenile hall all the time. When you have a case of an absent parent and fortunately, children, I do believe, can get rehabilitated. But let's not get it twisted. Nicholas Cruz was no child, as he's been characterized in the media. He's a 19-year-old man, okay? So in Michigan, if you're 17 years old, you get charged as an adult.
If Nicholas was a black boy, a black man, or of Middle Eastern descent, he would not be referred to as a baby or a teenager.
He wouldn't be alive.
He'd be dead.
He'd have been shot. He wouldn't have got a time to do a McDonald's and a Subway drink.
Right.
Or like Dylan Roof, they actually took him for a burger.
Right.
Wow.
After he kills 9 people inside the church. Inside the
What about
sanctuary.
this kid, Nicholas Cruz, who dropped his AR-15, blended in with the student crowd to escape, and he did. Then he went to Subway, and he went to Walmart. Right. I mean, really? And then they caught up with him in Coral Springs. Do you think that would happen to a kid of color, a black kid? No. We, as Sam said, we might not have left the premises alive.
That's called the
double standard.
well, yeah, I mean, we talked about it yesterday, the American sociological split screen. Let's
Yeah.
go to Martin. Martin has a question or comment.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you, and thanks for taking my call. I don't, as far as some of these political comments, I really just don't know where
What do you mean political
to
comments?
go with just what I'm hearing and speaking in code and.
We're not speaking in code. We're speaking real, brother. What do you
I'm
mean
not
in code?
talking, no. Excuse me. I'm not speaking in code. I'm saying I heard someone said that, the Republicans speak in code.
I said that President Trump uses a dog whistle, and he speaks in code to the people that receive his message. Yes, I did say that.
I guess I haven't gotten the code.
Oh, good. I'm glad you haven't.
And I don't fuck any codes, but I'd say both of the elections were pretty much marred in hatred. I mean, come on. I, as a Republican myself, I've been called a Nazi.
So let me ask you this. So the election was mud and hatred, right?
I think with both parties, absolutely.
Oh, so you sound like Trump on both sides, huh?
Now
The
with
way
the
the
Democrats.
Charlottesville marches, right?
Look, I have been called personally.
No, it's not about what you've been called. That's not what we. That's not what we. Excuse me, Martin. We're not interested in what you've been called in the past, brother. We want to hear your opinion here. You said both sides the presidential election. I said, so can I reference you comparing what you just said to what Trump said in the wake of the demonstration in Charlottesville as both sides must be faulty? Is that where you stand as well?
I don't stand with either of the two parties, to be quite frank with you. Okay,
right,
I'm not going to let how the parties.
Okay, we're not going to play this game. We're not going to play this game because you're not willing to put your finger on racism, nativism, Nazism, and all the isms that are troubling America today. You're not willing to put your finger on that. You want to use us? No, hold on. No, wait. I'll let you speak, but
to speak.
you're allowed. Of course, I will defend your First Amendment on this show, but let's correct the record here. You're not willing to put. Listen, Martin. You're not willing to put your finger on it. Don't give me that excuse of both sides. Tell us the truth. We're looking for someone to speak to power. Tell us the truth. Do you stand against Nazism? Do you stand against racism? Do you stand against xenophobia?
And white supremacy.
As a Caucasian half-breed Native American.
Do you stand against? Okay. Now you're coming down to earth. Then go ahead.
Absolutely. Hate seems to be the everlasting human trait.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And
So the president was wrong to blame both sides in the wake of the Charlottesville marches, right?
I wanted to call in reference to the school stuff, but I will just say this.
Yeah, no, come back to the school stuff. We'll let you go down on the school stuff.
In the end,
Mm-hmm.
for each and every one of us
Right.
in this country, all over the world, how we treat each other matters. How we treat each other matters. And I'm not going to let any political party dictate how I treat a fellow human being. I will not allow it to happen. I'm not going to let either side push out the mantra of hate and have me manifested across this land.
And I have a response.